Yo, so like overnight, you totally revamped your whole home. Like
Crazy.
just a wooden floor, and now it's all rubber floors and equipment. What happened?
It was, you know what, man? It was like I was telling Zach, I'm forced to shut my gym, obviously.
Yeah.
So now all the trainers, like, you got to lay off half your staff, and then the trainers were trying to get them to do all this virtual crap. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, holy shit, what am I going to do? And we had this extra living room that we just don't use. And my wife's like, let's just dump the couches and call Perform Better. And then they just drop shipped a whole bunch of shit. My wife and I just installed it. And it's like,
yo, bro, I'm about to hit them up, son. I'm like, yo, I got a couple living rooms, man.
How many times did you train today?
What did I do? You know what? Today was, I actually I did a bunch of intervals. Like I took like about 5.5 miles, and I did like, on the street, I did like a minute hard interval where I was monitoring heart rate, and then I'd recover for two minutes. So I probably got about 16 intervals in, which would equate to about 5.5 miles. I did that, and I just had to do like a plyometric live class, which I just jumped out of the shower because I was a dripping mess. I'm done now today, man. I don't want to.
Dude, you hate the lives.
What's that?
I saw one dude talking shit on the live the other day.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
He was talking shit. So his wife like reads him the comment, and I think he said something like, "Hey man, aren't gyms supposed to be closed?"
No,
and
it wasn't even that polite. It was like, you effing asshole.
Yeah.
You've got us. I mean, listen, Jesus, I am like a peasant compared to you. Like, you've got millions of followers. I mean, I'm more shocked how people are just angry, man. Like, they just like, I don't get it. Like, I'm trying to do good things. Like, you effing asshole, get the F out of the gym. And I'm like, dude, I'm in my house.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, man, you got to realize we come from a different demographic. These days, it's cool to be a hater. Like, it's cool. People bond over hate. Kids these days, they're not bonding over passions. They're bonding over mutual hate. So it's cool for them to call someone out and be like, hey, man, you have no life. All you do is go to the gym all day. It's like, no, actually, I do have a life. I do many other things. That's not all that I do.
Listen, I'm going to go on record. I mean, Sadik and I have become friendly over the last few years. I'd say, and I'm a huge bodybuilding fan. Like, Sadik's one of my favorite people in the industry. I mean, it's been unbelievable to kind of watch his progression, because I've seen him from in Golds the first year he got on stage. I mean, I was there watching you. I watched you go from, physique to classic physique, and I saw you make those transformations. I'm still trying to figure out what category I like you better in. But, it's been great. And the best thing about you is you're a great dude, man. I mean, so I kind of see you from one side that I think people don't see you from. And I couldn't imagine, all the crap you're getting bombarded with. I mean, I have 200,000+ followers, and I got to deal with it. It sucks, but you got to develop thick skin.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times, it rolls off my shoulder. That 1 out of 10 time, it could catch me, and for the next 48 hours, I'm like, fuck, man, my head is too small for my body, or shit, man, like.
Oh man,
I get worse than that.
Like, just these little things, they'll stick with you, But you gotta have thick skin. But besides having thick skin, you gotta not give a fuck, and you gotta use it as fuel. Somebody talks shit, like, all right, well, fuck you. I'm gonna kill you with kindness, or I'm gonna kill you with success. I'm gonna use this for my training session. Right. So at certain times, it could be motivational, man. But it depends what kind of human you are. Some people, they get demobilized by being different or being made fun of or ridiculed on the internet. Me, I could care less, man. I don't give a shit. As long as you say my name right, spell my name right, I'm cool with it. So, similar to what you're doing. You're working out at home. You're trying to get people in shape, and like, people are talking shit. It's like, come on, man. Like, I'm doing this for you, not for me. You're already in great shape. You don't need to get in better shape,
Yeah. Zach, what about you, man? Can you let that stuff roll off? Because I think that's been, I would probably say, one of my biggest areas of growth since I moved in the city 21 years ago, is that, I used to have the guy bump me in the subway and it'd be on my mind for the next 2 days. Now it's like, now you learn to kind of channel things differently. But I think, Sadik, you said something that was interesting. 1 in 10 times, 9 out of 10 times you can handle it right, and it's just that one time.
Yeah.
Catch
you in the wrong mood, man.
Wrong spot. Yeah.
But it also depends on like the day you're having, maybe. Like, they may just have caught you at the wrong time. But I mean, I think as I've gotten older, I've done a better job of you know, trying to figure out what matters. And honestly, most of the time it's some stranger and they might just have a problem with how I look or maybe the way I say something, and I can't change their opinion of that. It's like this is what help. This is part of your business, both of you. I mean, you know, Sadik gets on stage and he puts himself there to be judged by professionals as well as anybody in the audience, as well as anybody taking pictures. And who knows, it could be the lighting is shitty. It could be they took it at a bad angle. So it's super, basically you can't win when you put yourself out there like that, which is why you have to build up that confidence. But as for me, yeah, I used to let it really eat me up inside and just, you know, and sometimes I still do. It sucks, but at the end of the day, you know, my toes are still tapping and I'm just trying to keep moving and keep doing some cool stuff. And we've been doing that. So, you know, it's been all good, man.
I love it. So Sadik, what's your like, you do so much from a digital standpoint, right? I mean, is that a big point? Can you go through your day for us right now? Because everyone's lives have been changed pretty man. How's this all affected?
Dude, I've been forced to level up, man. So let me talk about it. Everyone's lives have been changing. And the first 24 hours, I was like, all right. I spoke to my wife. I was like, listen, this is not a physical battle. This is not about having food. It's not about having gym. This is a mental battle. So this is a good time for the underdogs, like guys like us, okay? Guys like us, we could now jump 2 or 3 levels, whereas everyone else got comfortable. They have all this success. They got these $1 million corporations. They got the businesses. Now what I did, dude, was I'm recording a crazy amount of content every day, focusing so much of my client transformations, reaching out to my clients, my businesses. I got a few things in the works, but I haven't grinded more than I have in the last 2 weeks. And I don't know, God knows when, man, you know? So I'm looking at this opportunity. You got to think about it this way. Everyone's home right now. They're forced to watch you. You know, there's only so much you could do on the stage from a stage standpoint. My 3 million followers do not come from the stage. It helps to look the part, but this comes all from social media. My sponsorships, my endorsements, this is all social media, putting your personality out there, giving people a chance to follow you and be inspired by you. And that's all it is, man. You know, it has nothing to do with the six pack.
It's something that Don and I have been discussing a lot, actually, as this has gone down. It's using this time wisely and to your benefit and using it and trying to figure things out. Like if you're miserable at the job that you maybe not have to go back to, or you're at home from, use it to find a different job when this does, and this will pass. And, you know, if you're making content, yeah, why not make a ton of it? And why not, you know, why not use it to refine some of the things in your life that you've been maybe putting off?
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad situation though. This is, you know what I mean? Like we're spoiled as Americans, man. Like people live like this all the time. You know, people aren't allowed to leave their houses. You know, there's so many third world countries and so much like communist government. And, you know, like this is a great life. We have food, we have water, you know, we can work out at home. Come on, man. You know, spend time with your significant other, you know, like there's things that you could do. And
I just meant the situation's weird as in like upsetting as like just everybody around the world being sick. I mean, not like having to stay at home. This is hardly sacrifice at all. And I get what you're saying. And I totally agree with you. You know, but I do have a question of that. Like, so are you religious? Cause I know that, I think one of my coworkers was saying that you're religious, and he had a question about your eating habits. If you have to fast at specific times and how that affects you.
Am I religious? I believe in God, you know, but I can't say that I practice any particular religion. So I don't practice neither one. But if you're fasting, man, you know, like how would it affect you? I have plenty of clients that fast, you know, because Ramadan is coming up. Right. So what do you have to do? You know, you have to squeeze in 3 highly caloric dense meals, like in a short period of time. So, you know, I know there's a lot of bodybuilders that do it. Thank God I live in the United States where we're not fasting. A lot of people don't have to fast over here. In the Middle East, like if you don't fast, they put your face in the newspaper. It's like, you know, like you're shunned from society. Like you have to fast. But yeah, man, I don't know. I wouldn't deal well with being hangry all the time. You know what I mean?
No.
I can't do that.
I got a question for you in reference. I mean, bodybuilders, I think, are some of the most disciplined human beings on the planet. I don't care. Anyone can argue till they're blue in the face, but the way that you guys have to eat, put the training aside, let's just talk about the nutrition. And you hear about how, like, I'm sure you haven't missed a meal, or you're one of these people who, when you're on, you are on.
Yeah.
explain to a lot of the listeners out there the importance of this. So they wonder why they can't put on weight. But one day they're eating, 3,500 calories, and the next day they're eating 1,500 calories. And I'm like, guys, it doesn't work that way. But can you give us your opinion? This sounds really basic, but it's important.
Yeah, for sure. So the biggest show in bodybuilding is the Mr. Olympia. You guys know the Mr. Olympia. Arnold made it famous by winning 4 or 5 times, Ronnie Coleman. So that is our Super Bowl. So for the last Mr. Olympia appearance I did 11-month prep. So 11 months, I didn't miss not one meal. Not one meal, not one, anything, not one training session, not one meal for 11 months straight. Jeez. And so that's what kind of discipline it takes. 6 meals a day, waking up at 6 a.m., taking pictures for your coach, sitting on the couch for 10 minutes, waiting for your coach to respond back to tell you what you're eating. Literally every morning I had to wait for my coach's orders. All right, you look good today. You look tighter. You look softer. It looks like you're holding water. Here's your meal plan. So 2 cardio sessions a day, every single day, all out, intense training every single day. Everything is calculated from your sleep to your water intake, to your sodium intake, to your, weighing out every meal, to the grain, and it really is crazy because you become a machine and you don't eat for pleasure. Eating is one of the simplest pleasures in the world. And then you're training so hard. What's the other simple pleasure is having sex. You're training so damn hard that your body is under so much inflammation and stress that you may not even be able to have sex, because your body's in survival mode. What is another simple joy? Going out, hanging out with friends, having a beer, relaxing, say goodbye to that. So you're taking away your social life, you're taking away your sex, and you're taking away your food.
You sold me.
I mean, it's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? But it really has, catapulted me to a new level of discipline and a new lifestyle, which is great. But it's not for everyone, man.
I don't understand how anyone could compete and not be obsessed with the process of training and nutrition. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things, if it's not, when I watch you train, it's a part of you. I can just tell you're there, and I'm sure you have your days where you're tired or you're not feeling 100%. But when you're in that zone and you get into it, you love the process as much as anything else. Yeah, and that's obvious, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I tell my friends all the time, the only time I feel truly alive is when I'm preparing for a show. That's when I feel the most alive, It's that state, it's that low body fat state where you feel like a fucking warrior going into battle. Testosterone is flourishing. You feel like Superman, So in fact, when I don't work out, I'm severely depressed. If I miss a workout, I don't feel like myself. It's like brushing my teeth. I wouldn't go a day without brushing my teeth the same way I wouldn't go a day where I don't have an incredible workout. And my wife knows when I have a bad day, it's because I had a shitty workout. But if I have a good workout, it primes the rest of my day,
Well, Sadik, how did things change for you in terms of your approach of the process when you switched divisions? Or did it?
Man, dude, I had to switch divisions because the reason I switched divisions, nobody really understands why, is because I started out in men's physique. I got runner-up in a Mr. Olympia 2 years in a row.
I was there.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, and I just wasn't challenged. You know what I mean? I wasn't challenged at all. My heart wasn't in it. And I was like, you know what, man? I really love fucking training. And the judges want me to get smaller and smaller and smaller. My first Olympia was 191 pounds on stage. My second Olympia was 186. And then my third Olympia, 179. And my body kept on wanting to grow and grow and grow. And the judges were telling me yo, dude, chill. You're getting too big. So I decided, I was like, you know what, man? I'm not going to compete anymore. So I went 5 months. Yeah. No, I went almost 7 months. Okay. So I went almost 7 months and people are saying classic physique. I was like, man, I'm too small for that. I need 25 pounds of muscle. So it's 5 months out of the Olympia. And I was like, you know what? I'd rather try this and fail than not trying. So I was like, I don't know if it's possible to gain 25 pounds of muscle in 5 months, but I'm going to find out. So in 5 months, I actually gained 27 pounds of stage weight muscle, 27 pounds. And I got third place. And I'm one of the only guys from men's physique that placed top 3 in men's physique, and then consecutively top 3 in classic physique.
How do you feel about classic now? Is that where your heart lies? Is that where you're at? Are you going to continue to compete? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to continue to compete for sure, man. I'm taking another year off. How do I feel about Classic? I think it's fucking great, dude. I mean, I'm not talking shit about men's physique, but you're just standing there. It's a male beauty pageant. You're standing there with your hand on your hip and smiling. It doesn't cater to my physique, you know? Like some guys, they look tremendous not flexing, but me, I need to flex and show my lines and my V-taper in order to look very impressive on stage. So I love Classic physique. Me and my wife were trying to start a family. So as soon as that happens, I'm going to hit the ground running again. And so sometime next year for sure.
Well, Zach, what's interesting about it is when I watched Sadik compete in men's physique, I mean, Sadik, I thought you looked incredible. So I had no idea that you were kind of going through that emotional tug of war. But looking at you on stage 2 years in a row, second place, I remember, you and I didn't know each other well, but I remember just being like, God, he's just so close. He's just so close. And then when I saw you go for Classic physique, it's a division that, listen, I'm not a competitive bodybuilder, but if you ask me any division that I'd want to go into, it would be Classic physique.
Right? Yeah. It's badass.
It's badass. So when you went for it, I was kind of like, oh shit, can you pull it off? And then I remember seeing you a few months later and just being like, and this is a compliment, but just thinking to myself, what freaking spaceship did he just get off? Zach.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I only did a 5-month prep. Like I said, I usually prep for 11 months straight. I did a 5-month prep, and I was skinny fat when I started. So this is what happened. The supplementation didn't change. The diet didn't change. I'm going to tell you what changed. When I was in men's physique, I used to train 2 times a day, every single day, 7 days a week. So I'd put my body in this catabolic state where I couldn't outgrow the division. When I finally took 2 rest days a week, 1 hard 1-hour training session a week, my body fucking grew. It grew when I took rest days. It didn't grow. I'm telling you, man, the supplementation is equal to what I was taking in men's physique. The food was equal to what I was doing in men's physique. It was the sleep and recovery and a rest. Like my rest days, I really rested. I didn't leave the couch. I didn't leave the bed. Like I didn't go to the mall and go shopping and run my errands and go to the post office. No, I stayed my ass in home and I slept, take naps. And I got huge, man.
I just want to pivot real quick about this whole situation now that we're in here. I know a lot of contests and a lot of things have been canceled or postponed, some indefinitely. And do you think this is going to have a lasting impact on the sport, on the industry?
So it depends, man. I'm not really sure, man. What makes these guys tick? You got to ask them. Is it the shows? Do they need the gratification of competing every 2 months in order to feel good about themselves? So I don't know. My crystal ball, I don't know. My crystal ball isn't telling me nothing right now. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, man. I mean, my wife passed a funny comment the other night because she's been helping me out tremendously with my digital business right now. I mean, my whole life has just been flipped for a 180 with having to close my club and, operating out of here now.
This is a good time to work on your brand, man. For everyone out there, even people that don't have a brand yet, you always have a brand. Yourself is your brand, Even when I had 1,000 followers, I still had that vision. I remember I was one of the first guys on YouTube. Hey, what's up? My name is Sadik. I'm 24 years old. I'm doing my first bodybuilding show in 10 weeks. I don't know what I'm doing, but follow me on my journey. Boom. Yeah. That's a fucking brand, man. People love that shit. Like, there's so much shit to do at home and people don't want to do it. Like, the same thing, man. Learn how to do a pull-up. I know plenty of guys that can't do 10 pull-ups. Like, practice your pull-ups. Practice, your leg raises. Practice push-ups. There's so much stuff you could do. Right now, I've been doing, like, high-intensity, like, exercises. So I do interval training, circuit training, and it's actually benefiting me. It's giving me a brand new outlook on training and what I'm used to. But, yeah, man. I mean, I love this time. Fuck, I wish this shit lasts a little longer. Let this shit last longer, man. And when this whole thing is done, I hope people still stay 6 feet away from me because I want to focus, man. I want to focus, dude. You know what I mean? And people have this misconception of me because they see me in the gym. I'm so focused and laser focused that people might think I'm arrogant or I might think that, I'm full of myself. But no, I just really care about what I'm doing. And I really want to apply myself fully.
But that's what I love about Bevs. I've never gotten that. I mean, obviously you're a big name at Bevs. So, but I still never, that's why I go there to train. Mm-hmm. That gym's 15 to 20 minutes from my house, right? And I'm there probably 1 or 2 days a week. And there's nice gyms in my town. But when I go there and I walk in, you nod at everyone, you say your what's up. And then it's not like when you and I walk past each other and we don't say hi. You always say hi at some point. But if it's not at that moment, don't worry about it. So, dude, you're in the middle of a set. Like everyone, that's what makes Kev so special. And that's why it's truly the Mecca. So what Steve and Bev have created there have been, I mean, could you imagine not having that? Could you imagine having to go into a sport club to train all the time? You'd still get it done, but there's something about the grittiness in there, about that being a hardcore gym that really – and Zach just did an incredible piece on Steve. Zach, that was unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could take credit for the technical side of it. I worked with two other very talented gentlemen, Daniel and Pierce from our team. If you haven't checked it out, Sadik, check it out. It's on the Muscle Fitness YouTube. I sent it to Steve. He really dug it. Thanks, Don, by the way. And actually, I think you guys both make a cameo in it. I know Don has an interview in it, but I think you guys are both training together.
Yeah, man, that gym changed my life. So I don't know if people know the story of that gym, okay?
No, tell me.
The story of that gym is this. I'm watching a Kai Green YouTube video 10 years ago, okay? And I don't even know how I found it. It was like one of those little thumbnails on the side. I'm like watching like something fitness related. And all I see is this fucking huge gorilla looking back. And I'm like, what the hell? Let me click this. And I'd never seen bodybuilding before. So I clicked this thing, and I was watching in amazement and in shock of how someone can get this big. And then I didn't realize by clicking that one video, it led me down a rabbit hole. And I was there for 6 hours watching every Kai Green piece of content ever. And at the time, I was dating somebody, and she comes up to me. She's like, yo, what are you doing? You've been on a computer for 6 hours. So I was like, look at this guy. His name is Kai Green. Like, look how big he is. This is nuts. How does this guy get this big? And then she notices in the background of the video, it says Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym, like in one of the logos. And she's like, oh my God, that's by our house. That's in Syosset, New York. And she's like, you should go there. And I started laughing. I was like, what, are you kidding me? I can't go here. Look how big these guys are. There's no way. So a month comes by and my birthday comes up, and I open up the box, and it's a tank top from Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym and a 1-month membership. So I'm like, holy shit. I was like, damn, I'm scared. I can't go here. So I started working out in my basement a little bit. I'm still working on my basement, trying to get a little jacked because I feel insecure, you know? And then I go there, and I see Victor Martinez training with John De La Rosa. And Victor Martinez looks like he's made out of clay, like in a good way. He's got muscles on muscles and roundness, and I was watching him in amazement. In the corner of my eye, I was like, I couldn't train. I was just sitting there like watching him like a little fangirl. And so I started working out there for 1 month, and I got hooked, man. I got hooked. And one day I was doing bicep curls by the dumbbells, and Steve comes up to me. He's like, hey, you should compete. I got shows. And I was like, nah, man, I do this for me. I don't do this to like show off and stuff. He's like, no, you do good at it. I was like, I don't think so. Comes up to me again next week. Yo, I got a show. You should do it. I'm like, nah, man. Comes up to me next week. Come on, man. You look great. What are you doing? Do the show. And then finally, Bev comes up to me, and I can never say no to a female. Like, that's my weakness. If a female asked for that, I had to say yes. So she comes up to me, and she's like, listen, there's something called Team Universe. It's a pro qualifier. I'll give you a special invite. You have to do it. So there we go. I did my first show, man. I didn't know anything. I didn't know I had to get tan. I didn't know I had to shave. I didn't know, like, anything. You know, I just showed up, and I learned how to pose by watching the guy in front of me. And that was it, man. You know, Bev Francis, that gym has changed my life, man. Seriously. Sounds cheesy.
What was I think that's a beautiful story, man. I mean, and then after that, when you got off stage, what went on in your head? Was it like this epiphany? Was it like –
I'll tell you this, man. So I got second place, but I didn't apply myself, okay? I didn't know anything about nutrition. I didn't know anything about water. I didn't know anything about, you know, anything. All I knew how to do was train for 3 or 4 hours a day because I love to train. You know, I trained like I used to train in the 70s. Like, I would go all out for 3 hours. And I got second place, and I'm driving home, and my girlfriend's like, how are you feeling? I started laughing. I was like, I feel great. And she's like, what? I thought you'd be mad. I was like, no, I feel great because I didn't apply myself. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was still good enough for second. So what this means is if I apply myself and learn what I'm doing, I could be the best in the world. And Don, growing up, I was never the best at anything. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't good at, you know, in my grades and my studies. I wasn't good at anything, bro. So this was like the shining moment. Like, wow, I think I found my niche finally at 24 years old. This is what I was meant to do. You know, I could be good. I could excel at this.
It's amazing to me, Zach, how someone could just have that like aha moment.
Yeah.
And go from not knowing what a standing double bicep curl is to being the best, one of the best in the world at what he does. And honestly, in 2 different divisions. So,
right.
man, I'll tell you, man, you found it. You just got to keep your foot on the gas, brother, because I want to see bigger things out of you.
Yeah. But it's also funny because the other side of that is I know that, you know, there's the people that have this passion from day one, and they know what they want to do, and they have this drive to go for it. So I fell into Sadik's camp. Like I'm still like, there's still things that I'm aspiring to do. So I still haven't really hit that niche like he did. And like, that's what people like me are still seeking, is to find that thing that really just hooks you.
Well, it changes, bro. It was meant to find you. Maybe it's not necessarily up to you to find it. Maybe it finds you, but it always changes. What inspired me last year doesn't inspire me this year. In the beginning, I was ignorant. I didn't know how good I could be. You know, it wasn't like I set out to do this, you know.
Yeah.
It was just a passion project, man. So just do what you love. You know, like right now I start a podcast and I really love interviewing and talking to people. You know, like I'm really enjoying this right now. So maybe that is your thing.
No, I know. And like, it's something that Don and I had we had talked about this idea specifically for a while, and it took us a while to get it moving. And when we finally did, we still had hurdles, and we were trying to figure things out. And you know, that process continued. And, you know, I feel like we've both put a lot of effort in to get better at it. And that has been something that I've been, you know, really pushing for myself. And I know I could see that Don's been doing it too. And we also talk about it. So this is same with me. Like this medium has been really just a rejuvenation in terms of, you know, motivation for me.
You know, I've had some people on that are like world renowned, world class in their certain areas. And I've been so excited to have them on. And halfway through, I'm in front of Zach. I'm like, dude, come on, stop with the stop. You guys get an answer. Like, bullshit. How do you eat? How do you eat? Stop saying, well, I'm here to design the best diet that's for you. What was your day of eating? And then the guy turned to me and he goes, I intermittent fast till 1 o'clock. I eat a huge portion, a pound of meat. I eat greens and veggies. And then I do the same in the evening. And then I have this. Stop the bullshit.
I mean, there's been times where like afterwards, like, you know, Don and I will be looking at each other and we'll just be like, what was said?
I feel like I just ran a marathon. I'm like,
I tend to like the bodybuilders or the fitness personalities that like, you know, that I have an attachment to. You know what? This guy talks a lot like me, or this guy has the same upbringing as me. You know, people want to know about that. What makes them tick, you know? I know a lot of my followers come from, you know, me being real with the camera and talking about things that other fitness influencers don't talk about. You know, I grew up severely depressed. I remember I wanted to commit suicide when I was 17 years old. I could tell you exactly where I was when I told my dad, like, yo, I don't want to be around anymore. You know, so when I see that fitness has changed my life, it really has changed my life, because when you find what you're passionate about, what you're good at, you know, that's what really molds you.
You've probably reached way more people, and same with Don, and I know this, way more people than, you know, might hit you up on Instagram or YouTube, but like you've reached many more people who will never maybe articulate it, but it's definitely there. And that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, like 1 out of 100 people, like they'll come up to me and they'll give me a hug and, hey man, you know, I was going to commit suicide, but I read one of your posts one night and it changed my perspective on life. Or, hey man, you know, I was going to do this and this, but I didn't because of something you said in the video that I found. And, you know, that's really powerful, man. It's not about the muscles anymore, man. It really isn't, dude. Any of the guys in the top 5, top 10 are interchangeable, but, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like there's so much more than just winning the Olympia for me.
You also know that you need a life beyond that. I mean, unfortunately, we've seen so many Olympia winners that just haven't been able to capitalize in their careers, that haven't been able to go in a direction that, say, maybe a Jay's gone in or an Arnold's gone in. And it's like you start looking at those guys and you're like, wow, these are guys that are, you know, healthy, successful. They make their mistakes in life, but they've definitely moved on from being on that pedestal and they've gone in that direction. You've put so much into bodybuilding and it's given you so much back, but you've also understood that, you know, listen, there's a clock ticking right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to develop and I have to build other things. And that's why I love your business approach and how you've been dealing with your clients and the reposts and the challenges and, you know, the success stories.
This is what I love, dude. Let me tell you this, man. In 2000, well, I don't know the date, but when I was 23 years old, I got my first sponsorship. And I never wanted to get a pro card or anything, but I got my first sponsorship at 23. And this was like back in the days of like Facebook. There was no Instagram. And I signed a contract. It was like $500 a month. And I felt like I fucking made it. I was like, $500 a month. Whoa. You know what I mean? So, but this is the thing. This changed my life because I've never left the tri-state area. Not only was it $500 a month, but it was a plane ticket and a hotel to any national show that I wanted to compete in. So here I am like, fuck, I'm going to do a show in California because I've never been to California. I'm going to do a show in Texas. I've never been to Texas. I'm going to do a show in Florida. I've never done a show in Florida. You know, so it's allowed me to travel, you know, domestically. And then I got another sponsorship. It allowed me to travel the world. I've seen Australia. I've seen the Middle East. I've seen Europe. I've seen, you know, you name it, I've been there. So it allowed me to travel the world, find out who I was, have financial freedom, and really know what I'm talking about. And it's not unrealistic to be a millionaire and compete in classic physique or men's physique, but you have to realize that the real success is going to come from this phone that we're talking on. This is where all your, you know, you set yourself up on this phone, like everyone has in their pocket. I get so many kids that tell me I'm going to quit college and do what you did. I was like, whoa, first of all, don't quit college and do what I did. Because, you know, part of being a man is setting out to do something and finishing it. And if you can't finish college, that means, hell no, you're not going to finish getting your pro card because you have no willpower. You have no strength. But, you know, you're not going to go pro and make all this money. It's up to you to build your career, your following, your legacy with this phone, man. It's nuts, man.
But there's
really
also a misconception, right, Sadik? And I mean, this didn't all happen overnight. I mean, we could say that 10 years ago, you didn't know what bodybuilding was, but damn, like, I'm sure you had some dark moments between then and now.
So Don, is it more like, and let me just pile on because I want to make sure that I got this too, but I think you're talking about, you know, that it's not an overnight success, obviously, but it's this, there's no fear of failure, like going for it and understanding that not everything is going to be like this huge success. And that sometimes, you know, you're going to fall flat, but you learn from it. And, you know, that's something I know you've talked about, that you've talked about some of the times that you came up short and how you learn from it. And I bet Sadik has those too. And I think that, you know, and I'm sure you're probably open with anybody who asks, which is crazy helpful, way more helpful than somebody who pretends that they've done it all right their whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
I mean, my gym of 15 years just closed a week and a half ago. Like everything I built in a brick and mortar right now is done and gone. Like, fuck that.
Is it closed for good?
Who knows? I mean, who knows when the government's reopening? Who knows if the landlord's still expecting to collect rent or not? But I am not going to sit there and complain. The second it happened, I went, all right, man, plan B.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Like, what are we going to do? I got on the phone with the trainers. We did a Zoom call. I said, guys, get pumped up. We're doing the best that we can. We have no idea. Is this thing getting better? Is it getting worse? We don't know. But I got to worry about tonight. Yeah. I can't even cry about 2 months from now.
No, I mean, Muscle and Fitness was acquired by an outside group shortly before this all went down. And we were in the process of getting everything set up again to the best of our abilities and, you know, plotting our path forward. And when this happened, we had a choice to make. It was like, well, you either throw in the towel, or I just said, you know what, fuck that. We're just going to go for it. We're going to go balls to the wall. And guess what? We're going to fall short in areas, and then we're going to reassess, but we're going to keep doing this. And Don and I have been pumped, you know, we've been crushing this podcast. We put out, after a hiatus, we've been putting out a ridiculous amount, and it's been great. But I mean, even to the point where people on the team were just like shocked at how many we've been delivering. And I love it.
Everything is up to you in your own hands, man. When I was competing at the Mr. Olympias and placing runner-up in the world, people were thinking I was waking up, training and eating and sleeping. No, what I was doing was I was driving from Long Island to Brooklyn, working my 9-to-5 job as a property manager, dealing with non-payments, eviction cases, repairs, you know, tenants fighting in the hallway. and then I drive straight home at 5 o'clock, 2 hours of traffic. I go home, eat real quick, go to the gym, work out for an hour and a half, take a 30-minute nap in my car because I didn't have time to go back home and eat again. So I'd eat and nap in my car and then do 30 minutes of cardio and then drive home and do it over and over and over again.
So Sadik, I mean, you're putting a lot into your online programming. Can you tell everyone where they can find you, your social media handles? Like give all of our followers, our viewers a little taste on if they want to do your training, where they can go.
Absolutely. All right. So what I'm doing right now, I was forced to level up. Okay. So I have a complete 6-week body transformation challenge going on. Now I had to make an in-home program. So people with very limited and even no equipment can sign up and still make a transformation.
Perfect.
Give away $10,000 to 2 winners. Just hit me up everywhere. SadikFitness.com, Sadik Hadzovic on Instagram, Sadik Hadzovic on Facebook. If you're watching this, you guys probably have already seen me before. But yeah, man. So if you want to win cash and get in shape, I'm looking like my next challenge. I'm going to do $25,000, 5 winners.
Wow.
So 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. The first 2 winners, like one kid is putting it towards his student loans, and the other guy who won is actually starting that $5,000 to invest in his business, his startup business.
That's sick.
So and all you have to do is, that's not the prize though. The $5,000 is nothing. But when you fucking look good, man, like that's what I say. When you fucking look good, you have that confidence that looks in the eye and shake their hand and you stand up tall. We all know what an athlete looks like. An athlete just stands out. But yeah, man, I'm just really grateful to be able to speak to you guys today. And I really do appreciate the opportunity. Don, I can speak to you all day, bro.
Sadik, I feel the same way, brother. I mean, anytime we're gonna have to have you back on. And listen, like I said, every time I see you in the gym, it's a pleasure. And it's been great watching you on your path. And keep doing what you're doing, brother. We're proud of you. Keep it up. Keep leading by example. All right. I love it. You can find my buddy at Zraz.
You can find him at Don Saladino.
Cool, man. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Zach.
Later, man. Take it easy.